The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here's Brandon.
Welcome back to the show for our second installment of the Holiday Gift Guide series. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's segment on games. We have even more fun for you today with this thrilling installment focusing on, my thing, Blu-rays. And I am dazzled to have today's guest join me for this portion. She's a freelance writer formerly of the Screamcast. It's Stephanie Crawford.
Hi.
Hello, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm very excited you agreed to come on here for this. So you've never been on this show before, and maybe to my listeners, you just now exist. I don't know. But let's get a little bit to know about you. You are currently freelancing, and you used to be with the Screamcast, but that just recently ended. But you do kind of have a home base called a house of a reasonable amount of horrors, which is a title I love. So that's kind of like, is that home base for you? Where you collect and put?
Yeah, I figured because of the freelance thing, because I write and guest on so many different kinds of podcasts, I just needed one easy space. So yeah, I just went with an old school blog.
And I mean, you've written for many notable outlets and stuff and have your work plenty of places to be around the internet. And you do have a penchant for horror.
Yes.
Correct? Mainly that slant. And has horror been a lifelong thing, like most of us, just young person start out and then the passion seeps out into writing or
Yeah, my parents would not let me watch horror movies at all. I grew up in a pretty religious household. But my mom's a librarian and my dad's also a big reader. So they didn't seem to mind me reading horror books like Goosebumps and Fear Street. And that was my gateway drug. And when we got Cinemax, I started staying up so I could be like, okay, when's the softcore going to be over? I want to watch Pinocchio's Revenge or something like that. And finally, my mom realized there's no stopping me. So yeah, my very first thing was the Psycho franchise. Was the very first thing I ever rented.
Oh, nice.
When I was about 13, I think. So yeah, ever since then, everything. I love all movie genres, but horror just gets me.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good comfort, good start. A lot of the best brains in the biz start there. It's always really good. And you have a love for Blu-ray, like myself and everybody. And
oh, I'm sorry. Was that a requirement?
Yeah. Dang it.
I'm sorry. I'm really into streaming.
Oh, that's right. I read the wrong person. Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, this has been.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Good luck with your booze vase something.
I'm going solo.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the format.
And you said you started. Was it the PS3? If I'm correct, is where you first started with your collecting of them, or
PS4 actually.
PS4. Okay.
I was early and really dedicated to DVD collecting.
Gotcha.
Like from the early aughts. And but I was late on the Blu-ray thing because actually a lot of my collection was stolen back in the day. And it put me off wanting to spend money on anything that I could hold. I was just over material goods for a good long time. And then I realized, yeah, my video game player could do Blu-rays. So I went to Target, I picked up some cheap titles. I was like, oh God, the DVD, that thing's going to start again, isn't it? The obsessing, the checking, the curating. And yeah, it did.
Gotcha.
But I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, of course. And I was kind of when I used to do Blu-ray and DVD testing when I lived in Burbank, and I was kind of against. I was like, I don't have to buy everything again. So I was like trying to mentally be like, it's not that big of an upgrade. It's not that. And then, yeah. But then I was
Yeah, when you
also,
see it, you can't turn back. And when
yeah.
people say that about 4K, I'm like, I believe you. That's why I'm not going to go down that route yet.
Oh, you're not 4K compliant yet?
No,
Oh
I'd
my,
like to
it's
be, but I'm
beautiful.
not a wealthy man.
Gotcha. I lucked out a lot of mine. I had a storm surge and take out my stuff. So insurance, and it was it was in 2016, right when all the 4K stuff was coming out. So it got all replaced with 4K stuff. So
Okay,
I got really lucky.
That worked out.
Wasn't rich man or anything, but I did in the pandemic. I did have to replace my 4K player, which was not fun because I have to have one for reviews and stuff. And
yeah,
I wish the Blu-ray review guides would send them free, but they don't, and I like getting the review copies, so I had to replace it. But eventually I guess it pays for itself, but who knows.
that's what I told myself when I got a region-free player.
There you go. Oh, you at least got that. That's good.
Oh yeah, at least. Can I stay?
Yeah.
I at least have a region-free player.
Hold on.
Okay,
let me talk to my producer.
Okay, I can wait. I'll take.
Okay, he'll give you a couple extra minutes. So.
Okay. Let's get going.
But yeah, the 4K is awesome. But the region free is like, here, I want to open my wallet up even more.
Yeah, but it is true. In the long run, it has saved me a lot of money.
Right.
There's so many region 2 versions that have just as much extras, have a lot of times the same restoration, but they're way cheaper, especially when Arrow sales go around. It's like, Arrow discs are $20 over here in America. And then if you can order from their site, even after paying international shipping, I think it comes out to around $8 to $10 per disc normally.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah.
It
does pay for itself after a while.
Yeah, was Arrow the one that attracted you to the region-free stuff mainly? Because that was kind of where I was at when I went region-free, was them.
Them, and also the ones that are only in the UK, like
right.
Masters of Cinema and 101. And,
right, yeah.
Just knowing, like, they had Paper Moon, which is one of my favorite films, but they don't have it over here. That was what started pushing me towards it.
Yeah, I just talked last week on my show about Silent Running was the one that got me from over there, because Eureka Masters of Cinema, that was one of their titles, and that was one of the first ones I was like, I want that. And so I got that. And then US released it a couple years later, and it was just some crappy little disc. And now Arrow is making me retire my old one that was like a monumental first region B locked disc, because they did a new 4K transfer in that movie. And there was a lot of stuff, like I believe like they got the Nightmare on Elm Street series came out like 2 years in the UK before in the US. Just crazy stuff like that. But yeah,
they also treat Jackie Chan a lot better. I'm a huge Jackie Chan fan, so you have to have an all region player.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm hoping someday we get like Police Story 3 and 4, like the real cuts of them. Somebody's got to drop it, right? Because in the US we're stuck with what the Weinsteins had, and those were chopped up, crappy. They're still good, they're still fun, but yeah, those are two of my big wish items. Speaking of wish items, I guess we could go on to our gift giving celebration for the holidays and stuff.
Oh, are we going to do it talking like this?
Yes, all the time. And
we're Black Friday elves.
There's now 6 of us. Yeah. But okay, so there's nowhere for me when it comes to holiday shopping, when it comes to Black Friday and all that. The first stop is Vinegar Syndrome. Like they own it.
100%. That's the first thing. That's the only one. Well, no, that's not true. I hit them first, and then I hit Severin. Those are the only ones I actually bother with the second they go live.
That's it.
Even though I know everyone's going to be on it, the server's going to be groaning. To me, that's part of the fun. Maybe that's a little perverse, but I don't know. I like thinking. Yeah, and it's such a niche thing that just knowing all these people were getting into it at once, because no one I know in person
Right.
cares about Blu-rays or these strange movies I love. So I'm like, I'm with my people and we're getting so frustrated that our cart isn't loading. This is great.
It's the only time of year I'll go onto the forums at blu-ray.com. I avoid them like the plague because they tend to hate me for some reason. I don't, not like I hang out on there, but I see my reviews and I just see the bile spewed on me. I was like,
Oh
I've seen
no.
stories made up about me too. Like I'm like, oh, is that? I guess that's true. They wrote it on the forum, but
You're gonna have to link me to these because
oh gosh, I used to take snapshots and share them on Twitter and stuff. Be like, look at my fans. So it's like, yeah, it's they'll post a link and then like someone will follow. That's not a credible source.
oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I only
Is
worked.
this gonna hurt my rep, man? You didn't
It
tell me
might,
being on the
yeah.
show.
You're done.
Oh,
But
well.
there are some good people on there, and I do think there's some good knowledge. Then, and I'll go to prior, and I love to have the shared pain of why is it loading? Mine's loading this way. Well, mine's loading this way. Did you get the double screen? No. They're gonna. Word is they're gonna send this because there was. I think the most recent one we're talking about Severin 2. The halfway to Black Friday sale was a disaster.
Oh wow, yeah.
You had to like email them your order.
Yeah, and they do have more issues than most on that day, and I guess it's just they have a very small server, but
Yeah.
that halfway to Black Friday, I've never seen anything like that.
I was crazy, and I was like, oh, Fulci. It's what happened, man. Every time Fulci's somewhere, it's
He
like,
causes a panic.
everybody wants it, and Vinegar Syndrome, they are great. And I had Justin Beam on here last month, and we were talking about Vinegar Syndrome makes you like scrapping and hungry for like, well, I need Blood Mutant Alligator 5. I need it. And you're like, I don't even know what that is, but I want it sometimes. Like I know some of these movies, some of them I'm like, well, this guy on this message board said it's like cool, so I guess I'll try it. And there's a lot of ones I'm not familiar with. There are some I'm familiar with, but it's a whole lot of rolling the dice, which is kind of fun too.
I think that's part of the draw.
Yeah.
Is that even people who know a lot about obscure films, they seem to constantly be surprised too. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a shot in the dark. And they've curated such a loyal fan base that even if you get one you don't like, you'll be able to trade it or sell it super easily, especially if you got a limited edition slipcover.
That's right. But yeah,
Can't resist those. I don't know what it is about slipcover.
Yeah, you're a slipcover person? Because I know there's collectors that just slipcovers. I'm like, I like them, and I like them when you can reverse the other ones. So it's like, oh look,
you always reverse it. You have to. That's the first thing I do. I like slipcovers. I'm not a maniac about them. If I miss out on them, I'm like, oh, too bad. Okay, and I've never paid more for one on the secondary market, but I enjoy them when I have them, especially with like Blood Hook. When the slipcover looks so much better than the disc art, in my opinion. Or Terror, that one, the Norman Warren one, those ones I'm happy I got. Oh, and Demon Wind.
Oh, I have the Demon Wind, and the Jack Frost. I have the lenticular for that one too, because I was like, I have to have that. That was like a VHS. That was the mom and pop video store staple. Was Blood Hook, but Jack Frost. I love that one.
Yeah.
And the one year they got me was when they had they had Ice Cream Man, Disconnected, and one other. I'm just like, I have to have all three of them. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't need all of them, but that year it got me. I forget what the third one was, because Disconnected, I actually had to like scour and buy this bootleg DVD of a VHS rip back in the day of that one, because it was a weird movie I had to see and find, and I had to dig through and find somebody to sell me one. I think I paid $30 for this really crappy DVD-R, but I got it because there was nowhere to like watch it on the internet, even like illegally. But and then it came on nice restored.
Yeah, and I have a beautiful copy of it.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you mentioned Screamcast. Can I tell you a quick story about that?
Tell it.
Okay, so one of the co-hosts is Brad Henderson, who now works doing
Okay.
acquisitions and special features for Vinegar Syndrome. And we would basically pick 3 random movies, watch them, then talk about them.
Mhm.
And one day he's like, okay, everybody, we're watching Star Time. None of us had heard of it.
Okay.
Had to hunt it down. It looked like an 8th generation VHS copy. It was terrible. And we watched it. We talked about it. And right after recording, he's like, so yeah, anyway, we're releasing this in a couple of months. I'm like, well, thanks for making me watch this.
The
Like,
crappy, yeah.
it was almost kind of sadistic, but I respected it.
Right. Part of the joy is watching these as they've never looked before. Like it's.
Oh yeah.
I've talked about a lot about like my continued growth and love for Italian horror has been because I can see them like this now. I used to watch them on crummy VHSs, and when I did quality control, I had Blue Underground, and I did have Severin. They were more into releasing the manual stuff on DVD back then, and it was like crappy DVD transfers when they would do them, but they looked better because I could see them in a good aspect ratio. But now on Blu-ray, I'm like, oh my gosh, these things are great. When they, restore them and give us the cool bonus features and stuff. But that's one of the joys of this is like, this should not look this good.
Well, when I used to watch movies on Cinemax secretly, Tammy and the T-Rex was on rotation a lot, and I fell in love with it. And I saw them screen at Fantastic Fest with the new cut.
Yes.
So I'm like, I now have a 4K Blu-ray of Tammy and the T-Rex. I've seen it on the big screen. This is so strange.
Yeah, no, I love. Yeah, that was my number one to get from their sale last year. It was like Tammy the T-Rex and what the Spookies was Spookies last year too.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was the huge one.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I must have these. Yeah, Tammy the T-Rex only on VHS, and then we're going straight to 4K Ultra HD with this one. And I'm like, and I'm going with you. So I picked up this year. This year they're the Beastmaster, the US debut, because I always flirted with buying the Australian release of that one because it's on Blu-ray in Australia and I think a couple other countries. But I was just like, I'll get that later. I have this like list I keep where I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have that because I'll forget. And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe today's the day. And I never did Beastmaster, and thankfully I didn't because here it is, 4K Ultra HD. Like, wow, I already ordered that one when that went up right away.
Yeah, I did the halfway. I don't always do like the everything package, but I did for that one.
Oh, okay. So you're getting them all.
Well, yeah, for December. I think.
Okay. Yeah. So the Beastmaster 4K Ultra HD. Very excited about that one. It has really awesome art on the box. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and a full-length documentary making of.
Yeah. So that is that's an alt that once I have it in my hands to watch it, that will have a hard time not making my top 10 of the year list, I'm sure already, without even because I know their transfers are amazing. Like, so
were you able to get Rad?
No, I didn't get Rad.
Oh,
yeah, I missed that one.
Hold on, I'm gonna get my copy real quick. I'm just gonna kind of put it right there. I'll be right back.
I'll grab my Olive Films Thrashing to just say hi. I'm not as cool.
That's pretty cool.
Have you seen Thrashing?
Yes.
Okay.
But on a DVD. So you're cooler than me.
Maybe. But you have Rad. They also have Fade to Black, which is a slasher I like. I haven't seen it.
I'm very excited about that one.
Yeah, that one's good. And Forgotten Gialli, Volume 2 with French sex murders, My Dear Killer, and The Girl in Room 2A. So this was one of the I like Giallo films a lot, but I'm like, I gotta watch my money. Sales, Christmas time, holiday time, gift giving.
Yeah.
It's like, but not run it up. I usually will sell a lot of my like stack of duplicates or like review copy things I didn't keep around this time to build up for this sale. That'll be my budget typically, but there's a lot of stuff coming out at the end of November this year that I'm just like, oh my gosh. And that this is just the Vinegar Syndrome side of it. There's also 2 surprise limited edition Blu-rays, which one's an 80s slasher from one of their favorite underrated Wizards of Slice and Dice, and a 3D horror movie from the 80s with both types, digital and anaglyph, which headache-inducing one, and comes with the custom glasses for that one. So, do you know what they are?
Yeah, I do.
And you're not allowed to say.
I'm not allowed to say. You can guess, but with every guess, I'm just going to say, that's a really good guess.
It could be.
Regardless of what you say. So.
We'll just let it be a surprise. But
I will say that in the Giallo box, that's what pushed me to get the entire set. Because otherwise, I probably would have waited and just got these.
Have you seen any of them in there, or?
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't?
But then I looked them up. I was like, yes, I need these.
Are you a big Giallo fan? Too?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Yeah, and Blu-rays really help that out, especially Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
The care they put into them. I don't know how you can't fall in love with them.
I like them. And I had I talked a lot about Giallo last month because I did Bird with the Crystal Plumage on this show. And then on the show I guest on called Out Now with Aaron and Abe, we did a whole Giallo episode, which was like my dream project for years because we do these horror specials on that show. Cool. And did a lot. And the two of the guys had never seen a bunch of them, so they did a hell of a lot of research, and it was a really fun conversation. But
cool.
Definitely dig this. And I think some people don't understand when they were made, and that like Europeans have different sensibilities with things that Americans might be turned off on or think, or I don't know. There's a whole world of great stuff with the Giallo movies. There's the 2 Vinegar Syndrome archive Blu-rays, and 2 limited edition catalog slipcovers coming as well that day. So pretty exciting. What kind of what Vinegar Syndrome titles would you recommend people picking up in their 50% off sale that's along with this?
I don't know. That's hard to say. Like that's the kind of thing where I need to know the person because these movies have a personality.
If you look at people's reactions, they're like, "Oh, I like this one. That one sucked. No, it was awesome. That one sucked. No, it was awesome." And
it's so personal. I'm good at one-on-one recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Putney Swope
mm-hmm.
is a great film. It's also a really important film.
Okay.
I think that would probably appeal to most people, even though it is unusual. I always recommend The Telephone Book, even though it's probably one of the strangest films they've released.
Right.
But it's so artful and fun and strange and daring and beautiful. Mm-hmm. And so far, everyone who's come back to me has really enjoyed it.
Gotcha. I've like Nightmare Weekend. That's a classic.
Oh yeah,
we've had
that's
for a long time. If people are winding down their Friday the 13th box sets that recently came out, Unmasked 25 is a nice little capper.
Great recommendation.
Can get that. I like Cutting Class.
I love Cutting Class. I just rewatched that. Yeah. And it's one of those great ones where you see Brad Pitt on the cover of a slasher and you're like, oh, so he's in it for 5 seconds. No, he is a true lead.
That's one of his. That's his. And what's her? Who's the lead in that one? What's her name?
Jill Shalin.
Jill Shalin. Yeah. I love all her movies and stuff that, she's in. And I think we're Blu-ray wise, we are only Stepfather's on Blu-ray. Most of her stuff from that little horror run she had is on Blu-ray now, which is awesome. Because I think she's one of those like final girls that no one talks about enough.
Yeah. People, horror fiends love her. She's like one of the girlfriends of the horror genre. But outside of that, she doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah. And then there's also the always recommendable Blood Beat, Blood Harvest, Blood Hook. That little trio is a good.
Yeah. And Blood Beat's a Christmas movie, right? So there you go.
There you go. Perfect. And we talk, Severin Films, as of recording, they don't have everything announced yet. So apologies.
We have the last 2 titles.
We have the last 2 titles left. So they've announced The Theater Bazaar, The Attic Expeditions, A Slaughter in Plague Town, also just called Plague Town, Family Portraits, a trilogy of Family Portraits, a trilogy of America, The Color Out of Space book on tape, cassette
that
tape.
Was a surprise.
Yeah, that was a wild one. And Castle of the Creeping Flesh. And I'm not these aren't like I want to dive into them, but I'm like, I don't know these too well personally. These are not other than the Color Out of Space book on tape. I'm not familiar too much with them.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of them seem to come out of the relationship they had with the Richard Stanley documentary they released, Lost Soul, because you have a lot of people who worked on that working on a lot of these. The only one I'm familiar with is, well, I watched the Theater Bazaar. I interviewed Richard Stanley earlier this year, and I just want to make sure I saw everything. And I saw the Attic Expeditions when it first came out, and I had a major crush on Seth Green.
Oh, there you go.
I was very young, but everything else is new to me, so that's exciting.
There you go. Yeah, the two left to be announced. Do you know what those are? Are you in the know on those as well, or are they a mystery to you?
No one at Severin likes me.
Well, that's
just something I live with. It's okay.
Yeah.
You have Blu-ray.com forums. I have Severin.
Haters. Oh, and then they also have enamel pin of Udo Kier coming out that day, which
I'm not a big pin collector, but they serve those who are very well.
Right.
They always have new ones coming out for Black Friday.
I have a select few, but I try to keep it as I don't want a jillion pins, but when the right pin comes along, I'll go with that one.
Oh yeah, we all have a cute little collection.
Yeah,
it's something to be proud of.
Small one. I'm way too overboard on many other things. I don't need pins everywhere.
Yeah, no. Sometimes I'll be like, "Wow, that's really cool," and then I kind of throw my brain ahead of time and just imagine like me just buying denim vests just so I can put pins on them. I'm like, no, you can't go down that road.
It's like, oh, it's gonna be a problem. Nope, not doing that. It looks cool. Like there's a lot of things where I'm like, oh yeah, that looks fun. Like years ago, I was like, yeah, I'm sure Pokemon Go's fun. I'm sure it is, but I usually go like 110% into these things, and I just no.
The older I get, the more I'm able to tell myself, you can appreciate just knowing it's out there and looking at it. You don't have to own it, you know?
Right. That's true. There are things to just appreciate from the glass and be like, nope, I'm okay. I know that I'm a pro at that from my old mall ratting days as a teen. So, so Seven Films, their halfway sale, I bought more titles than I might, new titles for that than I might with this one. I don't know. I was just like,
Yeah, this one's interesting because they're more modern than they often do.
Yeah. Yes.
That'll be kind of interesting to see if they sell out or just how they do popularity wise.
Right. Maybe they're trying to keep the website traffic down. I don't know. It's possible. They promise it's going to be better, but we'll see, guys. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is. That had to have cost them way more money and definitely more time and manpower to sort that out.
Right.
So.
And as a disclaimer, these are not like gigantic corporations. These are a couple people running things. So
these are tiny companies.
Putting the money into like all that, that's a big investment for all that for them. And I'm sure calling a guy in the middle of the night on a sale, like, can you please fix our site? Probably not what they want to do. They want your money. They don't want to be giving it to an IT guy throughout the night. So recommendations for Severin Films sale.
Okay, well,
probably not gonna be on sale, but Cruel Jaws. Gotta get Cruel Jaws.
Yeah, with both Vinegar Syndrome and Severin, they both have 50% off the MSRP,
right?
But it's not going to be the new titles. Yes. I think the cutoff for Vinegar Syndrome is September.
Yep, September 1st.
And Severin's the same way. So yeah, Cruel Jaws is amazing.
Yeah,
but
pay full price. Pay full price.
I love their Fulci titles. I think that's a great way to go. Terminator 2.
Yes, Shocking Dark. We know. Yeah,
you have to get that.
I have, but you can't have the slipcover anymore. You missed out on the ultimate slipcover for that one. And Cruel Jaws. Does Cruel Jaws still have the Jaws 5 slipcovers? I think
that I don't know.
Okay, because Shocking Dark used to have the Terminator 2 cover, which I got. So
yes, me too. Yeah, that again, another great example of the kind of slipcover where you're like, okay, I would kind of be upset if I missed out on that. I guess
Right,
I'll
yes.
order.
Like, have to.
Yeah, and we mentioned Lost Soul, that documentary. That's great. Vi, I think, is great. Wax Mask is a strange film, but I think that's a really great release. Yeah, Severin's fun.
I have All the Colors of the Dark. I love that. Was a
Oh,
that was a
yes.
former Black
Yes.
Friday deal, and I love that movie. That's my
Yeah.
favorite Martino of his.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It's got this weird Hodorowski meets just a lot of different things in there, but I like that one quite a bit. It's a strange one. Fulci, I put Devil's Honey because everybody needs to see that movie.
I love Devil's Honey, but that's a movie where I have to know the person.
Well, yeah,
pretty
exactly.
before I
Exactly.
recommend it.
Exactly.
Just their taste, because you can't put that on someone unsuspecting unless
And of course they have
maybe you do. I don't know.
One of their more prestigious titles is The Changeling, which resides at Severin Films.
Yeah, I love that film. I have theirs, and I also have Second Sights, even though they're pretty much the same, but they're both these different, beautiful editions. So I got them.
Yeah. And
I'm ridiculous.
For Brian Collins, I got to mention Kathy's Curse. His baby. So
yeah, there's a ton. There's, just look around, read the thing. Like, okay, read the synopsis of Wild Beasts and tell me you don't want to own it.
Right.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if finances allow, try something unexpected,
Right. Yeah.
That's part of the fun with these small labels.
And here's the thing, you'll be able to flip if you know how to sell stuff, you'll be able to flip these easy. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's, you kind of like, move and shake your collection a bit. And that's what you can do with these things. But there was one, oh gosh, there's one from let's see, it was Vinegar Syndrome. What was the one it came out the same time Psycho Cop came out for them. Psycho Cop 2. I can't remember what it was. The slipcover looked like grass, something. I can't remember. I didn't care for the movie, but I just put it up for 99 cents and I sold it for more than I bought it for. So if that's what someone wants to pay for it.
This is turning into a pretty mercenary episode, but okay,
yeah,
I can respect that.
There we go. Hey, I would have sold it for 99 cents had they put it for that. So there's no other studios just putting out stuff that day, right? I don't think those are the two biggies.
Brand new, no, that seems to be a signature move for both of them.
Right. Looking ahead for new releases beyond, we're going for this month and beyond. We've got probably one of the more popular general releases is going to be the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit 4K Ultra HD sets.
Yeah, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
You 4K people, you fancy people.
Yes. It's going to be
and then you have Blade.
Yeah, Blade.
Total Recall, Akira, Beverly Hills Cop.
Tremors 4K from Arrow.
Oh, I'm so excited about that one. I have pre-ordered.
There you go.
I love Tremors.
Eddie, Beverly Hills Cop Coming America. I'm working my way through the Mission Impossible complete series from Paramount, the original one.
Oh, okay.
And those were shot on film and they look outstanding. I wish they wouldn't have dinged my box with the postman because it's they said, well, it's a limited thing, so we don't know. I'm like, all right, well, when I show it on my YouTube page, it's going to have a dent, your dent on it. So
I do feel like these companies, one day there's to be like, you know what, we're in a pandemic and you're complaining to me about a dent. They're just going to snap.
Well, it's funny because the week before, Ronan Flicks emailed me about, hey, your copy of I Spit on Your Grave, the spines don't line up perfectly. Would you like us to send you another one? And that's a company that probably can't afford to send out,
Nice.
But Paramount's like, oh,
No,
but
I
thoughtful.
got a Giallo in Venice. I had an issue with that. And
Okay.
even though that was super limited, they're like, "Oh, we think we have one somewhere. We'll send it to you." I was like,
Well, that's cool.
"Geez, thanks you. Thank you."
Gotcha. Mad Max, the original, it's coming on 4K,
Yeah.
Ultra
Yeah.
HD. Kino's putting, like, when Kino announced that one, I'm like, okay, there you go. They put out their first one was like Hannibal 4K, which I don't know, I think it's Hannibal, but if you're launching a 4K line or trying to, put your feet in the water and you put out Hannibal while dangling a carrot saying, if that works, we'll do the good, the bad, and the ugly fistful of dollars for a few dollars more on 4K Ultra HD, that you did it the wrong way, man.
I don't know. Hannibal is a lot more mainstream, I
It
think,
is
and
mainstream, but
especially
collector wise, if you're going, you're
no,
Kino.
I'm with you,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
maybe they're trying to appeal to both sides.
Yes, it was
I
an
don't
odd
know.
choice, but Mad Max, I'm like, there you go, That was
And
I like
Monty Python's Flying Circus.
right. I
They're
have the
releasing.
one that got released in the UK, the big box thing. I have it right here. I could hold on. I've never
All
gotten that
region
dirty in my
people,
show.
I tell you.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, God. This one, which it was available in UK and US
Oh,
editions,
wow.
and it like falls. This is gonna be great for the audio.
Have you ever
Listeners.
opened it before? Is it glued?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh no. So it's got all the.
I still have the giant DVD box set from like A&E.
Oh,
It takes up like half a room.
the one that like half price books thinks is worth like $9,000 because it's out
Yeah.
of print. That and the
Wait,
Avengers.
I shouldn't have paid that.
No, you should have paid
Oh,
8,000.
man.
8,000 was where to go. So yeah, that was last year's fun for me. And I just had it sitting there. Yeah. So, but yeah, pick it up in the US is a really good set. There's a lot of bonus stuff on there. What else? Oh, Buck Rogers, season 1, season 2, and the movie from Kino. That's a pretty cool one. And then Curse of Frankenstein. I'm very excited about
Oh,
the
yeah.
Hammer one. And that's according to Warner Archive, that's a big like test item. Like
Oh, yeah.
if it sells well, they're gonna put more effort into new stuff for Warner Archive titles, apparently. So
Oh, that'd be great. I'll buy that then.
that's
Yeah, I have been waiting for Drop Dead Gorgeous to hit Blu-ray and it finally happened and nothing on the disc, which is kind of a bummer, but I am
but it
happy
looks
to have it on
really
Blu-ray.
good.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
I did a review for that one. That looks really good.
And I don't have that snapper case DVD anymore, so that's good.
Yeah, that's one of those surprising ones where I do an article every year called my Blu-ray wish list, which is titles I'd like to see released next year that aren't available anywhere in the world. And like that one, when they announced it, I was like, wait, that's not, oh my gosh, it's not. I always find it weird. And there'll be ones I forget every year. Like till this year, Half Baked wasn't on Blu-ray. Like M. Night Shyamalan's The Village isn't on Blu-ray, which I know it's not everybody's favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie, but I'm like, wait, they did Sixth Sense, Unbreakable Science, and then just stopped. Like that was really weird, but you never know. So that's kind of yeah. And then of course everybody's favorite movie that's been playing in theaters almost all year, Tenet, is coming out on 4K.
Oh, finally, yay!
Yeah, soon.
The Lost Weekend, Kino's.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I haven't seen that since film class in college, but that's a biggie.
I'm also excited about Libeled Lady on Warner Archive. That's one of my favorite screwball comedies.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you're a fan of like My Man Godfrey and His Girl Friday, you will love that movie. And they're also doing The Pirate with Judy Garland and Gene Kelly. So they're doing a lot of classics I love, like Harvey Girls coming out too. So if you're a classic film nerd like me, it's going to be a good month.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Warner Archive like really beefing up the December list too. I was like, usually December kind of slows it down a bit, but they got a lot of good stuff coming that month. But a lot of it there's some of it is like delayed from October too, because I think Curse of Frankenstein was supposed to be October, and now it's December. So, but hey.
Oh, and from AGFA. They're doing She Mob and The Girl from Pussycat.
Oh,
I
okay.
have not seen The Girl from Pussycat, but I saw She Mob at last year's Fantastic Fest, and it's so fun. And they did it with something weird, and there's this great backstory that involves the JFK assassination connected to
wow.
the film. So I highly recommend that one for
Damn.
both the movie and the behind the scenes stuff.
Excellent. I'll have to look out for that one. And we always have the reminder that Barnes and Noble is having their 50% off the Criterion Collection sale.
Yeah,
Which
and I like how they've added Arrow into that.
Mhm.
So we really will not have money for anything.
Right. And then
Ever.
usually in December, right after, they do a BBC sale as well. So all those titles go like 50% off. But they didn't do one in the summer like they normally do. So I don't know if they're going to do it in December again. But
You don't have the scoop?
I don't have the scoop. Oh, I don't know what happened in the summer. So I don't know. My
Okay.
UK contacts have gone dry ever since Amazon UK. They stopped shipping stuff to the US. And then when it came back on, they didn't come back to me. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Have to get a new constable or something to do that. But as always, buy that Godzilla set if you haven't got it with the 50%
Yes,
off.
it is glorious.
It's so awesome. The Fellini set, Criterion allows you to, they seem to know, like, okay, we're going to drop box sets when we have the 50% off sale. So they kind of know. So there's
Yeah.
their new Fellini set you can get for just $124. And you're like, holy shit, that's a lot. I'm like, it's better than $250.
No, I'm not arguing. It is a good chunk of change, but it's an incredible value for what you're getting, like the Ingmar Bergman set.
Right. And if you like, I pre-ordered that Fellini set immediately because of the Bergman set like 2 years ago, because that went gone really fast. And I think they only got like a really small shipment back in December, and you couldn't get it till February, I think, was what happened with that one. But be thoughtful for people giving you gifts. Let them know to go to Barnes and Noble and get it.
The people who really like you, let them know.
Right. Yeah, let them know. And always Lone Wolf and Cub, that's a great set to get.
Yeah.
And the Jacques Tati set is another good one. And they have just
Agnes
my chest.
Varda, they've been
Yeah,
killing
that
on
one
the
just
sets
yeah.
so much. Yeah, everyone keeps begging them for Kurosawa because they know it would be glorious.
Yeah, that's they probably just want to license out a few more films. They probably want to get Ron like that. But they can't. I mean, I think the Studio Canal still have that. I can't remember, but yeah, that's probably where it's at. There's Kurosawa. There's another filmmaker. I think someone was pushing for. I can't remember. I don't know. Whoever they go do next year. I mean, that famous filmmaker Godzilla was a good pick last year. I really like that. So that's what I don't care about your shelf space. The packaging on that one rules.
I know. I love the packaging, and it's skinny as heck. Like it fits in anywhere.
Yeah.
You can frisbee it across the room. Like, hey, buddy, put in this for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of the big bulky things. I don't care. I got mad back in the day because like TV series used to come out in these like fully cool just bricks. And then when they started doing just slim cases, and then I was like, oh no, what'd you do that for? But,
well, yeah, it's funny with the Gamera set. I need both my full arms to pick that up. I need a big flat space to open it up.
Right. Yeah, I've got the Herschel Gordon Lewis, the original set of that's huge. But I'm like, I wouldn't want it any other way. And there's this Columbia Classics collection from Sony. They actually, the 4K one they came out with last summer, they put it in a case. They put cases in there, but it's in this big bulky thing that you can choose. Do you want to have this, or do you want to put them in a row on your shelf? I don't. But
it's a fine line. I remember back in the DVD days when that like Scarface Bo crocodile thing came out, and
yes,
that I'm like, I just want the De Palma's Scarface and Cagney's Scarface, and you can keep the other stuff. Thank you.
It depends on the movie too. Like what are you going wild with here? Like I don't need like the world is yours ball. Just
or like comes with a shot glass and like a giant globe of something.
Here's the
like
DVD. Yeah.
I know a lot of people love that. It's part of the collector thing, but
Although when they had the year the Phantasms came out, and Go USA had it in the US and Arrow had it in the UK, I went with the Arrows because it came with the damn ball at the
yeah,
time. So and it
that's
had
why
the
I went with
box.
the Well Go because it did not.
Oh, I went
And
with the
it was
ball. I like
cheaper
the
too.
box it had. And then now Go repackaged it and has a ball now years later. But yeah. But yeah, so Criterion, go for that. Looking at the Black Friday sales, move over to the retailer people. Target is like having stuff now, and it's a buy two get one free sale, which having a Target card is dangerous for me. It feels like I don't spend I'm not spending money a lot of the time. So I will randomly hit their site and be like, oh, 1, 2, free. And I pick up scraps usually
I'm
too.
making money.
I pick up things that are like, oh, I don't have that yet, and it's cheap, or I've been meaning to get that, and it's
Oh,
cheap. I'll
yeah,
usually pick
yeah.
them up through that. Like,
No, really, like don't get big blockbusters when they first come out. Wait
right.
for Black Friday and stuff.
Unless you want that slipcover. That they have.
Yeah, but often even then, with like giant big movies,
Right.
they're not doing limited edition slipcovers. They'll eventually stop producing them, but you have much more of a chance.
Yeah, that's true. If you just wait till the next Black Friday or summer sale or something, they will go down quite. Like I finally got Terminator Dark Fate on 4K Ultra HD for $9.99. I was like,
there you go.
I'll do it for that price. And there's a lot of stuff going on now. I'm not even gonna hit Amazon really because everything's gonna be on sale.
All they do is copy whatever Best Buy and Target are doing.
Right. So if it's out there, you'll find it. Best Buy, I mean, they have a lot of stuff. Like yesterday with the video games, or I was like, they were the most specific, but for like $5.99 at Best Buy, you can get Joker, Super Troopers, Wonder Woman, Us, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Peanut Butter Falcon, Mortal Engines, which I like Mortal Engines quite a bit.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I like Peanut Butter Falcon.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's a very good one. Mortal Engines took me by surprise. I got it for review last year. I was like, I'm just curious about this, and it's very imaginative. I like the
it
Gonzo.
Seems to be a 50-50 one. I haven't seen anyone saying it's okay. They're either or So.
I'm not saying it's like an unheralded masterpiece, but I wish more people would give stuff like that a chance. Like your Valerians.
Okay, I'll give it a
Do
chance.
it. $5.
Oh, God, jeez.
Yes. Roger Rabbit is $5.99. Mission Impossible Fallout's $5.99. Jumanji.
Are these all 4Ks?
No, these are just
Oh yeah, 4Ks are like $8 and $10, which is really good.
Right, and Bumblebee, they have that one, and I like Bumblebee a lot.
I like Bumblebee.
I like that one. That one charmed the hell out of me a few years ago. $7.99. Birds of Prey 4K. I would say that's a pickup right there. Although some people are very unhappy with the Atmos track on it.
Really?
Yeah, but
damn it.
I was fine with it. I just had to crank it up a little bit, but
can we trust you? Because the forums say we can.
Yeah, that's right. The forums. That's right.
Sorry to rub it in.
No, it's fun. I enjoy it because they have no idea who I am, but they seem to think they do. But it's all good. Ex Machina 4K. Let's see, 1917 on 4K. That's cheap already. Parasite 4K 77, or no, just regular Parasite. It's not the 4K one.
Oh, then no, just get the Criterion.
Just get the Criterion, yeah. Which is the weirdest conundrum to have within a year's time. It's like, here's Parasite, but don't get Parasite because Criterion's going to have Parasite. But wait, we're putting it on 4K now. Like, stop messing with me. Like,
for me, I was like, all right, I'll wait for Criterion.
It's like the Elephant Man in the UK. They put there's a Studio Canal put it out in 4K. Here in the US, Criterion is just like, no, we will do
with Crash coming out right now.
Yeah.
Criterion has more extras that are really intriguing, but Arrow has the 4K.
I don't know what their holdup is with 4K Ultra HD because I do work with them, and they were really just trying to jump ahead of everybody with Blu-ray. When Blu-ray was first coming out, they were wanting to get ahead of everything, be really particular. I mean, when they do a 4K, it's going to be like the best 4K you see, because they don't do something until it's perfect, and that's really how they work. I mean, you see it in the reaction, but they every step of the way is got to be perfection before they move on with it. But I feel like they're getting behind here when stuff they're announcing is like, but there's a 4K over here.
That is an interesting choice.
And in the collector market, yeah, it's interesting. I wonder what the holdup is, but yeah, it's like, but I want their Parasite, but I want the 4K disc. Like, but I guess at $9.99 where it's at on Amazon right now, I guess you could make room. I don't know. Listen to these troubles we're having.
Yeah. Look, I thinking about these quote unquote problems.
Yeah.
Is so much more pleasant than thinking about
the
actual terrible things. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get really into this discourse, and it's relaxing to me. So yeah, I'm all for it.
True. They have Hacksaw Ridge 4K. They have another Mel Gibson 4K and Expendables 3. Requiem for a Dream 4K, which just came out. It's $7.99.
I don't even know if I can ever see that movie again, let alone in 4K. That's a little too much detail, maybe.
I've seen it twice. I watched it when it came out, and then I watched it maybe 6 years ago, and I'm like, all right, like when do I pop this in? Like,
I have a Sunday afternoon off. Let's Requiem for a Dream.
Good. It's effective.
No, it's a masterpiece. Yeah, get away from me. It's very effective at what it sets out to do.
Yeah.
One and done.
The Predator on just regular blue. Waterworld 4K. John Wick 3 4K. Joker 4K. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Standard Blue are also $7.99. They have, for $9.99, just a whole bunch of... I'll pop my favorites out of this. How's that? Rather than just go through this list. I like it. Godzilla King of the Monsters 4K is $9.99. A lot of Marvel stuff. Blade Runner 2049 is 4K is $9.99. That's really it that I would... I mean, if you don't have like Black Panther or Captain Marvel and you're a big Marvel fan, pick them up. Invisible Man. Oh, that one's $9.99 4K. So I definitely recommend those. Were there any in the $9.99 that you?
Nope. I'm with you on your list, but I think we have similar taste.
There we go. $12.99. They have Alita 4K. That's a really good 4K disc. I still need
to see that one.
Oh yeah, man. That's a cool movie. I don't think it's in the Mortal Engines category. Like, pretty awesome. Nothing ground earth shattering, but definitely pretty cool. I know there's a huge fan base for it that doesn't understand box office numbers to wonder why it doesn't get a sequel, but it did solid. Ford v Ferrari, the regular one, not the 4K, is $12.99. They also have $14.99. They have Steelbooks. The really cool Knives Out Steelbook that looks like the little novel, that's $14.99.
I got the Target limited edition that came with the actual little mini mystery novel.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted that book.
Yeah, sometimes they make it hard. Like it's like, which one do I go for? And sometimes if it's
easy, if it comes with a book, that's the one I'm getting.
There you go. If it's a series and you're like, well, and it's the first one or something, like, I gotta make my choice. Am I going with these Best Buy Steelbooks for this whole thing, or am I going with the Target little digibooks for this whole thing?
It's like deciding who to marry between two people, you know?
Right.
You have to weigh your pros and cons.
Right. I do remember when the Hobbit trilogy was coming out, Target had theirs came with Legos of like the Hobbit stuff. So I went with that one for it all, but it just had this like flimsy cardboard box that held the Lego at the top. So it was just a regular case in there, but that's the one I decided to go for.
Is it I finally got upgraded my Gremlins on Blu-ray because it came with like a little Funko Pop gizmo thing.
Awesome.
And it was like that. I don't collect those, but like the little keychain gizmo, I couldn't resist. And they'll just put on a little bit of cardboard you have to throw away, but
Gotcha. Awesome. Like I had the Batman the Animated Series came with these little mini Funkos, and they don't stand up.
We're
Right.
such suckers, then they know it.
They're stupid. Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Spider-Man stuff from the past like 3 years, Hunger Games, Mission Impossible. Yeah, and wait. Oh no, not Hunger Games. There's a $9.99 collections, which only 3 titles have been revealed from. There's the Hunger Games, Saw, and Mission Impossible. Which all the Mission Impossibles are on 4K now, but if you're not 4K, $9.99 for 7 Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
There you go.
Great.
Pull it. And yeah, there's a lot of Marvel 4K and Star Wars 4K.
Don't get that Saw set though, the new one. No, it's a re-release of the other one, but with no digital copies.
Oh, okay.
And the digital copies are the things that had the special features on them. So you get nothing on the actual disc.
Oh,
so it's one of the few times where I'm like, well, get the digital for that actually.
All my Saws are individual. And
the set.
By the way, listen to Stephanie, because you need the bonus features for Saw 2, because you need the Scott Tibbs documentary, because yours truly plays a cameraman in the Scott Tibbs documentary. So you need
Dang. That. Okay. Well, that's official.
So I scratch that from my list. That's not a good deal at all. Not a good deal. You need to see me get pushed over by the main character. You need that. There we go. Excellent.
Or find the DVD. Yeah, you heard me, Blu-rays.
Yeah. That was my payment for that. I got some food and a free copy. How nice.
And immortality on film.
Yeah. And a sore shoulder and tired, yeah. But it was fun. It was fun. I thought I was a big shot. I thought I was
I'm impressed.
Yeah. I got casted based off sight, and I thought I was going to be a lot bigger role, but they just decided that I looked like I could hold a real life camera for hours on end. And
that's not bad. Yeah. At least she didn't have to do that VH1 Scream Queens reality show.
Right.
Where the whole thing is a whole reality show. And I think that one girl was just cut to before she was killed for a second.
Right. I will say it was probably the nicest set I ever worked on, and I felt like important. And I was really nobody. I was like featured extra, but like nobody, and they treated me like I was really cool. So I will say I will give them credit. It was a really nice set. So let's see. FYE. Hey, they count, right?
They're so strange, but sometimes they'll do a little bit of a sale and I'll find some interesting used discs. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. If you want to find like a Shout Factory disc in a store nowadays in 2020, they're going to be the best chance you probably have. Or like an Arrow title.
Well, we don't have them here. I live in Las Vegas, but we do have Zia Records.
Okay.
Who I love. They carry Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, Scream Factory, everything.
Excellent.
In an actual physical store. They charge MSRP, of course, but just being able to see them is great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll see those weird like steelbooks I didn't realize like made it out of a distribution warehouse and into a store. And they have Glass 2018 Halloween, the Pet Sematary remake, 3 from Hell, and Rocket Man for $7.99. They have a $9.99 select stuff that we've talked about before, like Shazam, Alita. They have no 4Ks. No 4Ks.
Oh, okay.
They have a $12.99 if you want to be mean someone over the holidays and get them the Friday the 13th 8-movie collection from Paramount. And if they say like Friday the 13th collection and you buy them that, they're probably going to be upset. And then they have a $14.99 section with Avengers Endgame, Lion King, Toy Story 4, and I think they're just standard DVDs.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they got a $5 bin of the Addams Family Values Blu-ray, which that's a great deal right there.
Yeah.
Get Out, Greatest Showman, the John Wick, just other stuff, and then they have exclusive steelbooks of Wizard of Oz, Elf, Christmas Vacation, Corpse Bride, and Little Shop of Horrors.
I like their still books. They're cute.
The Wizard of Oz one's really cool. It's the Dorothy and the poppies laying down. It's really got a gorgeous red to it. And then so that's all the stores I checked out. Did you check out any other just retailers or anything?
Yeah, Family Video on their website.
Jeez, I did not think.
They're doing a sale on Sony, and they're doing until the 30th. They just have a sale on Sony titles right now.
Okay.
And they sell used Blu-rays, so that might be worth looking at. And VCI, who they get picked on so much, but I will always defend them.
Gotcha.
I think they're a great company, and they have a Black Friday sale. It's going to go till Christmas.
Okay.
And most of their releases are 65 to 80% off.
Okay.
And they have some great stuff like Night of the Scarecrow, Gorgon, Night Visitor, Black Shampoo.
Oh,
they,
okay.
they have a lot of hidden gems there. So that's a really cool one.
I forgot to check MVD Rewind too. They usually do some stuff, I think, but forgot to check them out. Whoops. If you're listening, sorry. Probably not, but so lastly, before we wrap this up, what are just some general titles that you would just say, hey, this is good for the holiday season? Doesn't care if it's a sale, just general stuff that you would recommend.
Okay. Well,
and you can be specific to specific people, to general people.
This works out for this sale. All of Criterion's John Waters releases are a must-own. Get all of them. Scream Factory also did a great Serial Mom release.
Oh, yeah,
so that's a great one to get. Big Trouble in Little China, the Scream Factory release, has been one of my favorite things recently. I love that one. If you want to go out the beaten path a little bit, if you've been enjoying Vinegar Syndrome things, Mom from Scorpion releasing, that was a surprise. That's a really slick, smart, funny horror movie. I'd recommend that one. If you want to look at Arrow, Alice, Sweet Alice, their release of that blew my mind. And Synapse didn't really come up, but
right. They go on pause.
No, they
now.
don't do sales, but I like to remind people of them, like Popcorn, Intruder, get them. They're all great.
There's Suspiria, of course. Like it feels like ever since Suspiria came out, they've kind of like quieted down, and then they pop up and then they quiet down a little bit. But
they pace their releases, but like we don't have enough to buy. We're okay. We can wait.
We're fine. And they crank out those vintage porn movies quite a bit. So
there you go. It's true sexploitation and smut in general. It's being treated really well right now.
Right. Yeah.
On physical media.
I get these ones. So like I review their titles and they show up once. I'm like, oh, I got something from. Oh, it's like little movies that used to be in like viewfinders for like porn stores, but now restored 4K restorations, no sound.
I love that.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny that, physical media is dying as like, you compare it to the crazy DVD boom where it was super mainstream, but I feel like it's as strong as it's ever been with collectors and diehards, and that's pretty much where it's going to have to live. But it's doing so well with that.
I've said, I'm like, if it's dying, so why am I happier than I've ever been with the medium?
I've never spent more money on movies than I have the past few years, and been happy about it.
It's getting a lot better collector focus. I think some of the bigger studios are understanding what is going to sell or how to sell it. You kind of saw like Lionsgate, who sub-licensed to no one, and then they came out with their Vestron Video line, which went away until this year. Returned,
and they came back strong and much more affordable. Smart
move. And you're seeing the Paramount Presents that we've mentioned Justin Beam before, but they hired him to come help do a lot of their bonus features, and they're just kind of understand what people like. Warner Brothers is sub-licensing a lot more, and
Yeah, they seem to be loosening the reins. They're like, okay, it seems like these companies know how to deal with them. We don't really want to put in the effort.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Sony used to be, you can do it, but you can't do any new bonus features, or you can't do a transfer unless we care. But now they're letting people do bonus features and stuff like that. But like Twilight Time had a lot of their titles, but Twilight Time was like, well, can we just do a audio
Yeah,
only?
I realized this is going to be the first year without Twilight Time for Black Friday.
Yeah. And Kino Lorber seems to be picking up what they used to have. There's a lot of titles coming that used to be like, they have Runaway Train coming, Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. So they seem to be picking up those ones that aren't available anymore because Twilight Time's gone. They sold out, but those titles are come through. And Twilight Time has spun into a different business recently, I believe, like more of just a boutique store than being a label. I think that's what they were. I forget what it's called. They emailed me about it. Can't remember. Look at me. But yeah, it is. Yeah, no Twilight. Because last year this time we're like, well, we're gonna go to January and then we'll figure it out. But yeah, it's interesting. Do you have any favorite Twilight Time titles, just to reminisce?
Why? Just it's gone. It's sad.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, well, I'm blanking on the title. Why? It's one of my favorite movies. Shoot, what's the one? You know?
Oh, that one? I bought it like 5 times. No, I like their Fright Night was one of my favorite. The second Fright Night they put out was great.
I completely missed out on that one.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, now it's easily available because of their success. Sony got more confident in releasing that thing. So
yeah, I finally was able to get it. Yeah, that's one of those it's such a popular movie, but it was just bootlegs forever.
Yeah. So flat out recommendations. The Alfred Hitchcock 4K Ultra HD Classics collection that just came out is definitely for any, like, Vertigo on that. When you get 4K compliant one of these days, Vertigo, you've got to see. You will just,
oh no,
eye candy. Like, I was stunned at how good it looked. And if you're not 4K compliant, the Masterpiece collection is a high recommend, and it's got even more films in it, and it's just a really great set.
Bunny Lake is missing.
Bunny Lake is missing. Okay.
And Pretty Poison.
Yeah. I had Zardoz.
And 10 Till Midnight, but Scream Factory did that.
Oh, so yeah, they did.
Too sad. Right. Oh, the Truffaut films they did, like The Bride Who Wore Black, which is one of my favorites. Right. That really sucks that those are out of print. Hopefully somebody. Criterion, maybe? I remember.
Oh, yeah, Criterion would. Yeah, maybe a Truffaut set is coming from them. Maybe
yeah,
they could
Kino would do a good job too.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I had the Universal Monster Collection because
I love that one. Yeah, it's one of my
Who
favorite.
doesn't want to own Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein 8 times in one purchase?
Well, what are you gonna do? Like, you get in each set, you're covered. You're good. You don't have to get up all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Thankfully, it's a fantastic movie that you can't get too mad at it.
Right. Back to Future 4K just came out. They look excellent. Like, I was like, oh, I feel like I haven't seen these before because they look so good.
I guess you did need a credit card to ride that train.
That's right. I did do a so for sci-fi dork TV people like myself, the Doctor Who The Collection series are excellent. Some of the best VAM you'll ever find. Ever. They come up with creative ways to tell, like, documentary stories instead of just being talking heads and stuff. One of my favorite releases is the season 23, which is the Trial of the Time Lord season. They have a thing called the Doctor's Table, where they have Colin Baker, who is the Doctor in that season, Nicola Bryant, who is his companion that season, and then the villain of that season, Michael. Oh gosh, he was a guy who tried out for James Bond once. Can't remember his name. And Bonnie Langford, who is the companion at the end of the season. But they have them sit and eat dinner, and they have these little things. They pick questions or random things out, and they have a discussion about these points that they have. And it's just a really interesting way of talking about the season. They also have a thing called the Doctor Who Cookbook, revisited, where there was this book in the 80s or something that came out that all the cast members gave these recipes for, like a Doctor Who cookbook, and they go back to their house and make them cook it. And some of them are like, I just threw some bullshit in there. I've never even had this. And they have to like cook and eat it. And it's just really fun stuff. And one of the things I like about those sets too is they dig up archival material like commercials, promos, guest appearances on talk shows, like, and in their full form, not like here's just the clip of when he's on, full thing. Like, and it's hours and hours and hours of stuff. And those sets.
I have 2 of those. I need
Okay.
to dig into I'm not an expert Doctor Who, but I really like it. And I would rent the DVDs from the library. I'm like, wow, these have a lot of extras on. And when I got my Blu-rays, I'm like, okay, I'm sure it'll pretty much be the same thing. And it's all this new produced material and uncovered material. I'm like, well, geez, I kind of wish the people who did Doctor Who did everything.
Yeah, like Chris Chapman, he's one of the guys who does it. He's really good. Matthew Sweet is like one of the best interviewers. They usually, each season has him sit down with a perennial figure from that season, and he has an hour-long conversation that's just runs by real fast. Like the first season of like Tom Baker, he has Tom Baker. Tom Baker's third season, he has the showrunner of that season, but those guys, and Toby Haydock, he does documentaries too on there, and they're just phenomenal stuff. Like every time we haven't had a set because of COVID since April, and I'm just like, when's the next set coming out? But it leaked February, season 8. Season 8. It's John Pertwee's second season. It's the first season with the Master, so it's 50-year anniversary of the Master. So that is apparently the next one, but we'll have to see. But those sets, if someone even slightly into Doctor Who, give them a chance with that. I would say the Tom Baker season, that's my jam, but they're all worthwhile seasons.
Did some of them start going out of print?
In the UK. So in the UK, they come in a much more collectible box. They are like this book and all these little flappers in them, and they have a booklet with essays and stuff in them. And the discs have art. The discs have art specific to the episode rather than just the cover again. But they're really, like, I ordered them I started the US ones, and then when the fourth set came, it had a release date of June in the UK and then October in the US. And so I just ordered the UK from there, and then I went to eBay the first couple to get the better boxes, and then they re-released the first one again because they didn't print as many of those, but those go pretty fast. That's like my week is done when those come in. I'm like, I'm not doing anything else other than just soaking in those. Another series that I could talk about Doctor Who for a long time. So another series that has that kind of same aspect is the Star Trek The Next Generation and the Star Trek original series ones, because the restoration of Star Trek The Next Generation is phenomenal for those releases. And they have that type of VAM when you're like, okay, I have no questions anymore. So I guess the VAM was great. I felt like I sat through a course. I know everything about it. And so those are very good. And for that horror nut, Dawn of the Dead 4K over in the UK. It's a pricey set. 4K UK.
Very limited.
Right. I also have Twin Peaks, whatever the recent set they put out for it is, because it seems like every year they re-release Twin Peaks with that one. And also so go classic film Roman Holiday from Paramount Presents is a really dandy release.
People have been going crazy for that one. I might have to get it. I still have the DVD. Yeah,
and to, I guess, close on Fulci, Zombie 4K from Blue Underground is one of the best transfers, period, of the year. I mean, it is stunning.
I think I've only heard great things about their 4K releases.
Yeah, they have all been good. All been very good. But yeah, Zombie 4K.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I got the Blu-rays that came out before then, because I have
those.
And those are gorgeous too.
Yeah.
if you're like me, a sad kid with no 4K, they'll still look beautiful.
They will still look beautiful. Yeah, their 4Ks though do not come with the Blu-ray disc for the movie. So
that's good to know.
You're
Yeah.
jumping straight in. So if you get it, don't sell off the standard Blu-ray if you're trying to future-proof yourself. But yeah, those are really good. And I don't know how many times, like, I don't know how many times I've bought Fulci movies like double, triple, quadruple dipped. I don't know.
Well, I mean, back in the day, if Anchor Bay or Blue Underground were involved, they were going to get released a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
There's one of the big titles.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but that's what I got. So I guess that'll do it for this section of the gift guide. Stephanie, it has been magical having you here.
Wow. Well, thank you. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. So tell my listeners where they can keep up with you right now currently.
Okay. Twitter is the best place. It's pretty much the only social media I use. I'm Scrawfish there, and my blog is there, and all the stuff I'm doing. So yeah.
All right. Excellent. And I hope you come back sometime. We'll have more fun. You're more
absolutely not, but thank you.
Yes. Oh, you are my kind of person. All right. So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Brandon4KUHD. My written work is at whysoblu.com. The Brandon Peters Show returns tomorrow with the final installment of the holiday gift guide, which is figures, comics, and books, with Troy Brownfield of the Saturday Evening Post making his return to the show, and looking forward to his knowledge and recommends. Until then, remember, always keep the positivity in your online film chatter.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at thebrandonpetershow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at thebrandonpetershow.com. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.